Harry again, on geothermal. And he said, I don't know what Harry is so concerned about. This, you go to a volcano and you see all the locals and the tourists staying in the steam. You see any harm? And I respected this guy, and you don't want to go negative. So I said, excuse me, Senator, but we cannot confuse the public. And the difference between sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. Please don't mix the two. They're totally different animals. Do you think the national park would expose people to hydrogen sulfide, regardless of what level? Especially if you can visually see it. So I couldn't even convince that group. And here I am talking to you. I asked Mr. Olson back there. I'm surprised to see him yell out in here. John and I go way back.
Who are you again?
And we haven't been on the same side, to tell you the truth, but if you know me, I think you'll find it doesn't matter what side you're on. I don't shut up our relationship. It doesn't make me work harder to establish a relationship. And I'm not just BSing you. Just ask anybody that knows me. Because that's what I believe in. And I say geothermal. There's several things I marked out. Every one of these I can tell you by memory. I decided to bring parts of it with me. I ask all of you to please question anything I read or say. Anything. Because you can find the source. It's in California, Iceland, Philippines, anywhere. This is my Bible of geothermal. I don't know geothermal. You've got to start from scratch and ask people and read. And I thought, this is great. This is from the California Laws for Conservation of Geothermal Resources. And I will read to you. You can download any of these. Bullet for the discovery and production of geothermal resources be drilled, operated, maintained, and abandoned in such a manner as to safeguard life, health, property, and the public welfare, and to encourage maximum economic recovery. I read that. I talked to numerous people in California. I tried to catch up with some of the people I talked to had retired. Nothing has changed as of last month in regards to their code. Within that code, you will find rules and regulations of conduct in regards to any geothermal exploration or production, or closing of wells, or anything regarding geothermal. I joked to a friend last time, and maybe this is a bad joke, and I'll say it. We failed you from day one. We, meaning all of government that you depend on to protect you. Yes, we means Harry Kim too, obviously. I was in charge of civil defense. We failed you. And we are still failing you very badly. Try to resonate those words in your mind in regards to making up your mind of where we go or how we go. This is not about for or against geothermal. If you want to get there, then it is about how you get there. Let me read you something else. When I talked to the governor, and I thank him for, because I'm just an average citizen, and he heard that I went to Honolulu to stop the state government from removing geothermal from all EAS requirement on exploratory drilling. He wanted to know why I was so upset. First of all, I thank him for taking the time to call a person. And I wasn't running for mayor at the time. And I told him, you know, Governor, I am so disappointed. I'm so sad. I'm so disgusted with us. And I use the term us in any one of us associated with government. of what you just did. You in the legislature, for the protection of this young boy, of this beautiful land that I've told 1,001 times, the most beautiful place on God's given earth, because of the beautiful people on God's given earth witness this place. And what did you just do with the legislature and our council administration support? You eliminated the geothermal subzone on the stroke of a plan called Act 97. Used to be Senate Bill 3003. But once you sign it, it becomes an act. So, in short, it's already law. And that's what I found out about it. I need you, and I want you, to read Act 97. And if it is too complicated, because it is, because every word sometimes will mean something, then go ask a friend, like I had to, because I'm not a lawyer. Sometimes I think the crux of all problems is lawyers. I'm always joking. It's so disgusting, it's legal. But you know what Act 97 did? Those of you know, at the time of 1984, when we passed the geothermal subzone, we and we used collectively again of government, state government, which identified this area and the 4 subzones. And he stated what you have to do with community, the resource, before you designate it. And it was designated. A lot of people have found out about it when it was too late, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I just spent a few days with my granddaughter, like all grandpas, their grandchild is the most beautiful thing on earth. That's how objective we are. And I told the governor, how can you do that? How can you do that to the people of this land? How can you do that to this land? And so what did I do? Did you read it? Do you know what you did? First of all, you took away 100% of local control. 100%, not 99. Now you got to find out what local control did you have. As inadequate as it was, the PGV plant out there was required by the geothermal resource plan zone permit to develop an emergency response plan. If you didn't have the local input opportunity, you wouldn't even have that. And what did the government and the legislatures do? They took away 100% of the local input. Not 99. And anybody challenges me, I want you to go read it. And what else did they do on that? This part, I told the governor, I cannot believe it. In a stroke of a plan, 10, you allow geothermal drilling, exploratory, like it's a trick word or something, exploratory drilling, to occur anywhere in the state of Hawaii without permit except for conservation lands. And you hear all this nonsense. And tell you the truth, when I see it, I get so disgusted, I can't follow it anymore. Oh, it's only a little hole. No, go find out. I want you to find out about exploratory drilling in Hawaii. And I told the governor, he said, no, yeah, wait, I'm going to have my lieutenant governor call you. And you know I'm telling you this has to be true. I'm not going to talk nonsense about the governor. He said, I'm going to have my lieutenant governor call you, Brian Schultz, because he has been given the responsibility of pursuit of alternate energy for this state. Great. And he calls me, Mr. Schultz. He said, Harry, I hear you got some concerns about what we're doing. And I don't swear, and I did not swear, but I surely wanted to. So I told him, I'm going to ask you one question, Mr. Schultz, just one question. Your answer will determine where we go. And he said, shoot. What is the difference between geothermal production resource in California that we use example all the time of Iceland versus geothermal resource development on the island of Hawaii in the Hawai'i area? His answer very briefly said, I don't know. And I told him, therein the fact is the problem. There's a gentleman that said, Harry, why are you running? You will never know the difficulty in running. And I was a happy grandfather, like some of you, and Mrs. Ditwater, who's a young boy compared to me, because today's his birthday. Where is he anyway? Right here. Oh, right. And we're going to sing you happy birthday. He's a week younger than I am. My birthday was last week. But I'm telling you, go to the lieutenant governor, go to the governor. How dare, how in the world dare you do those things to our people, and our land, and our air, and our water, and your answer is, I don't know. How can you plan for something if you don't know the hazard, and you don't know the risk? I try to tell this gentleman here, don't let the issue be digressed into things that is not the issue. The issue is not an evacuation plan. The issue is not an emergency response plan. The issue is geothermal development done as the Bible I told you about. That's what you got to base your opinion and your direction on. And don't nobody ever go out of here and say, Harry Kim told us he's against geothermal. Because that's probably what will come out, right?
Not out of here.
I'm begging you, before you decide where to go on this issue, for this land, not just this plant is already here and permitted. The state has huge plans, you know that, in regards to where we go with geothermal. And I ask of you again, how are you going to develop this resource if you don't know the hazard and the risk? How are you going to develop an emergency response plan if you do not know the hazard and the risk totality? How will agency develop plans? And I told friends, when we're trying to decide what to do, I'm waiting for somebody in the public to say, wait, something's wrong with this picture. If this side is saying geothermal is 100% safe, why are you wasting all this argument on evacuation plan? Wait, nobody says anything to put the two together. The other month, I read in the paper, Department of Health, which is responsible by law to protect you, and the head of geothermal said they have 2 monitoring stations on H2. They're pulling one out because of low reading and no more money. I'm waiting for somebody in the public to say, hold the phone. But nobody speaks up. You know why? Because you have been taken away from the issue. I will ask this question of you that asked the Lieutenant Governor. Do you know the difference between geothermal resources of California, which provides 2/3 of the geothermal energy in the United States of America, or Iceland, versus geothermal? Who can raise their hand and tell me they know the difference? Can you, sir? Will you tell me?
The resource here is dependent on a hot spot. Well, John Olson could do a much better job of this than I can. I'm just telling him what he said, you know, trying to repeat what he said in his talk. Every other resource in the world is based on tectonic movement, which creates the heat. Here we have a hot spot with a break in the Earth's crust that lets the magma through. It's totally different than anywhere else in the world. Any other resource.
Do you understand the residue difference?
The what?
Residue difference.
Residue.
No, I don't think I know.
Do you understand the hazards difference?
Vaguely.
Higher H2S.
Higher temperature, higher pressure, higher levels of all the toxins.
All of you are right and all of you are dead wrong. This is one of the biggest differences of knowledge that I found out. I am here being exposed to the blow-up of 1991, and nobody is behind me telling me, you know what you're exposing yourself to?
Nobody
They
knew.
tell you, oh, there were people knew. The geothermal people are there. If they don't know what the hell they're doing here. You think I can accept nobody knew? The Department of Health is here with a PhD degree. The law says that's their job to protect the worker, and you not even get order of it. Let me tell you the difference, and I want you to challenge it. Excuse me, please. This is from California. And I double-checked with them about 3 weeks ago. If you change within 3 weeks. All of these things you can download, and if you need information how to download these things, or their code, whatever, then ask the lady behind there to display it. So she's the brains of most of my things. I'll just read you my highlights. First of all, California. Point number 1. They produce 2/3 of the geothermal energies in the United States of America. Right? Everybody here at the time, you say, look what they do in California. The guys live right there. They use it to steam the house, heat the house, etc., etc., etc. There's no complaint. There's 2 types of geothermal resources. Different places use different words. Iceland says conventional versus unconventional. What is conventional in their eyes? To really simplify it, it means that the steam and the energy has already been generated, and their work is to dig, get that source and come out. Sometimes it's already like the geysers, you can see it. And they just stop. What is the residue? Basically, water. They have no fear of any residue of anything in regard to the, most of it, like California, they put it right back in the water industry. They call it clean steam, white steam, whatever in California, conventional in Iceland. What is unconventional? Unconventional is what we're doing here. Am I against geothermal? No. How can I do my job to protect you as you pay me to do civil defense if I don't know all the hazards and the risks? That's what I had to find out. Because I was ignorant. And I'm still ignorant on a lot of things. California, 100% of the geothermal is of clean steam. Let's use that one word, or white steam, whatever. Some places in the world are so lucky that the steam is what they call pure steam, nothing else. They just harness that, and there's a couple of places in California that is lucky enough to do that. And what about this type of geothermal? Read it up, and it will say it's unconventional. Or in Hawaii, they will say it is hot rock magma geothermal resource. What is that? You drill. And if there's any geothermal here, people here, that I say anything that is 1% wrong, check me, okay? Don't let me mislead these people. So they drill. They drill down anywhere 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 feet or so, until they find the geothermal resource, hot rock or magma temperature that meets their requirements. But there's no steam. Why? There's no water. There's no subsurface water like California or Iceland. It creates that steam naturally for them. So what do we have to do? How do you make steam on hot rock? You pour water. I don't know how much water they use, but I'm sure tens and thousands of gallons of water is their need. And what is the impact? There's steam. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing, except for the residue and the toxicity of hydrogen sulfide. Go read the gathering reports. Go read the EPA report in regards to the level of H2S when it came out of the ground here.